23rd?
Yes.
September 23rd, okay. So there's two elements in here that we should have a discussion on tonight. And the first one is the website company itself, okay? And I don't know how much time, I mean, we got this stuff in our box, Friday? Last Friday?
We sent it Friday, but it was the Friday before Labor Day, so I don't think you got it until Tuesday.
Okay, and, again, I'm retired, but I still work 40 hours a week, okay? But you're working, you got stuff going on, I did go through this, twice, as of our meeting that we just had here, our special town board meeting, which was a week ago, yeah. Since then, I finished it, I was like halfway through it, and I told Michelle, I said, oh smokes, this is impressive, very impressive. Now I went through it the second time, I'm going, there's enough in here that we could study this for quite a while. But I do think we have enough information here, you know, based on your work, to do two things, I'm hoping, tonight. Is the website company and the equipment for our street. Those are things that we got a budget for right now, and get it done so that we can say that part is the building block of the entire process.
Catalyst.
Yeah.
If I could add one other thing though,
Sure.
what you said is great, but I think it's also imperative to strongly consider the person, because if you don't have the right person, this ship is not gonna sail.
Yeah, and again, say we end up with a new, you know, website company. First of all, just that part of it itself is gonna lead to the information that's probably lacking now, or maybe hard to find, or not there, okay? That's number one, okay? The streaming part, we know that. The part as far as, you know, implementing it and to a point of saying we're at a finished product, that could be in the first quarter of next year, it won't be this year, okay? But I do think as far as the company and, you know, the equipment part of it, you've done the work. That our homework is done as far as that part. So that's what I want.
Actually, the streaming equipment, you don't have, the streaming equipment listed, it's just a matter of Zoom and inviting people in that gives you the interactive. So it's the same amount. So if you want to start by, you know, having residents, you know, give input on Zoom, you still have all the equipment ready for it anytime you're ready to implement it. Right. And as far as having the person, the thing is, you know, there's a lot of technology know-how involved in this, and I just want to say that everyone has talked about Kim as if she is like the saint of technology here, because so many hats. I mean, you have so many hats, and we really appreciate everything that you've done, because if it weren't for you, we would have none of it. And so I just want to say that when we're talking, I mean, we just need somebody to help you out, right? So that you don't have to be a communication specialist, because like how many of them? 4 or 5 here, you know. So anyways, I just want to be clear that we know Kim's work has been exemplary and amazing, and so now we need somebody to really run this, because even just moderating a Zoom meeting or getting the file shared and getting it to YouTube or however you're going to do it, you need somebody to be able to run that, and they can actually help you set it all up. So staffing should be aligned.
Yes.
How we want to do that.
Yes. Okay. I guess I'm going to ask you all, how much time did you put into reviewing? How confident would you feel about acting on the two items I just brought up? One is the website company, the second one is basically the hardware for us in the street. You guys feel that you're up to
How quick? She gave you a list of 10 different website companies. Not any.
Four. There are 4.
Oh, okay.
4.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do?
And I don't think you need to make any decisions
For budget.
No.
It's that budget time.
No, they get, but the budget, planning comes down to the numbers, for instance,
And that's what that first meeting's about.
right, tell you what I did. First of all, Town Web, that's the one that currently has our site, that's why you have the number here for an upgrade, okay? I know about the other two. Julie, hands down, is the best one that we've been listed here, from my view, you guys all gonna have an opinion here, okay? I do like the local presence, okay? What's that?
I don't have any, well, fix whatever you want, but don't ask me about any of that. It's the way, I just don't know, that's why I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
right, but anyway,
I don't know.
If that's what we decide tonight, at least we know the plug-in, that would start us out, you know, 20 grand, okay? And that would be something we could talk about at our budget meeting. That's why it's important that at least we have, get a feel for the guys to get the thing. And again, I know about it.
Well, I agree they did a very good job on their report.
Chad is not
It's
familiar
very-
with the companies,
it's very-
Barb's not familiar with the companies, Pete, are you familiar with these?
No, I'm just,
I just read.
You guys have to do your own research before you pick the company.
True, but if we're at a meeting in 2 weeks, I'm gonna have a number that we're discussing, so I guess we're gonna use that number for a matter of discussion.
No decisions.
No, and again, how,
You have 6 meetings, and it's time to make some decisions, so, and work.
and,
I think this is great,
I think, yeah, I think everyone needs to kind of be doing, Amazon.
you were there, so
something.
you're pretty familiar, but, you know,
I just,
My way.
Just took it away from you.
Yeah.
You don't always see it.
Mary can talk to you a little bit, she actually does have the phone with them, so she has.
Everybody.
But that might be helpful too. So if you have, she might just, you know, share some insights, and if you have any questions, you want to take it.
Sure. I was very impressed with Julie. I spoke with her for 45 minutes on the phone, and they are very professional, very, the Summers website was what convinced me to call them. It was interesting, it was a combination website, it was town and village together. But the presentation was very, it was very good. They're actually web design of that. But they also are willing to do branding, they're willing to do the strategic planning, they're willing to do the logo. And I think these are gonna be stumbling blocks for, you know, upcoming, you gotta get all those pieces together, and then, you know, they'll even work with the mission and the vision statement. And I spoke with, actually John Hogan and Jennifer Dooley, they're married, and they run this company. And they do a lot of work for other places, like YMCA website, and they're just, 20,000 was the mid-range, annual fee of about $3,000, and that entitled you to 3 hours a month of assistance, and you could roll the hours over. So you had 36 hours a year of assistance from them. Summers was not a template website, it was built from scratch. The above fee included polishing up their logo, color scheme, all of that good stuff. So I just want to put in a good word for them. I was, as I said, I was very impressed with them. And they're right in Kenosha. Was that a company that could take novices and actually
Yes.
educate us and move us?
Yes, yes, yes. And part of their fee includes the training.
Okay.
Really important.
sure.
The above fee includes, well, let's see, I said that already. Oh, and train staff on website. There would be an additional cost to work on a logo. And,
right, that's gonna be a separate operation, but it doesn't have to be on the website to start. That could be happening. And it will be happening, because we said it would happen.
And it's, you know, it would make the website special. If you went with Town Web, it would be, as Linda said, you could go to all these other towns and they all look the same.
That's what we have.
There's a touch of creative flexibility with it. Do you know what I mean? If you want to add those things, yes, Jack?
because I know very little, I appreciate it. So, would Julie be one of one of your recommendations? I mean, you guys did the research, you guys are kind of familiar with, I mean,
I guess that Julie would sit down with you, they're from Kenosha, so they could try it here. So, I mean, Civic Plus, they have great websites, but they're from Kansas, so everything's gonna be virtual, everything's gonna be online. You know, all of your support is gonna be via the web, rather than having somebody come and sit.
But they did have good reviews.
They did,
And they have over 4,000 municipal customers.
Right.
Civic Plus
And
does.
we're looking at this being,
right,
you know, virtual and moving into that technological, then we need to be able to deal with something like that, if that's who's chosen.
But
Right.
What I'm saying, I mean,
but the
needs to
benefit of
start
when you're setting up
with.
is you have that, you know, that immediate help, you know.
I feel that we wanted to give you some choices with pricing, but it looks like it ended up that they're all pretty close except for town.
Right, and there's reasons for that, right, I mean, right.
Julie's the most expensive option, but it's a canned option. It's
No,
gonna
no,
help you with
Civic is,
Civic Plus.
Civic Pluses.
yeah, 24,000, yeah. So Julie's 20, I mean, they're all kind of within.
And Julie can do everything.
Right.
It's a
Well,
canned
Julie
product.
can do everything plus,
Right.
the logo and all the difficult for a few.
In town weather, for $1,000, they'll do it.
Well, and I don't think Leslie's schedule allows for.
No, but I'm just saying, if we're gonna be in a position. It's gonna be more than that, there's gonna be a planning commission, moderating meetings, there's gonna be a town board,
Yeah.
moderating that, so it's a lot more than something we want to do.
And planning commission, I don't think we need a moderator, I think it would just be streamed. It wouldn't be interactive.
Well, yeah, it's good plan, so that makes sense, public hearings, so they have to.
Actually.
You know, have to go back into a COVID shutdown. Talk about plan commission, that in effect is a public hearing, so they have, people that have to be here, they can still chime in, but, you know, conversation. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a budget item, how much you guys wanna allow. I mean, town web will do a preface for $1,000. Kim said town web is very easy to work with, they're very easy to post to. She's familiar with the system, but do you wanna keep the same thing? You know, what kind of money do you have to allot to the communications?
that's always the answer.
I mean, the Zoom meetings and, you know, the video, I think is essential.
Yeah, our
For protection
electors,
of you guys as well.
yeah, our electors have demanded what you guys just did, so, to me, that's the answer.
And the cost would be 0.004 cents, you know, so it's, you know, so it's, you know, often we think about this $20,000 is coming out of our own pockets, right? But, you know, across the entire town, it'd be well worth being informed.
And I believe what the, or the Equalized Valley came out, telling me straight, 933 million.
Yeah, I gave everybody a copy. of
Yeah, and
that.
that's why,
Somebody
when you
did
divide it
that.
out, it comes down,
It's
pennies.
Right.
If somebody complains, you could, I mean, you could take what you got in your pocket and you pay them, what you want.
Yeah. So I
Penny
guess,
for
I
you,
mean,
penny
yeah.
for 5 cents, 4 cents.
I mean, Civic Plus had,
No, it's
had
a
great
pay 12
websites
cents, I
too.
got too many
They did.
properties.
Revise had good websites too. I mean, I think the thing with Julie is that they could assist.
Let's wrap her up, I'm
strategic planning.
hungry.
We've called around to these places that have just done strategic planning, and no one got back to us, no one. So I don't know if they don't wanna tell us who they had did it, or if they did it on their own, I don't wanna say, I don't know, but I couldn't get a price from anybody, or, you know, what it costs. So if Julie could facilitate that, right?
Okay, explain what is
Right now?
in strategic.
Right.
Okay, strategic planning, so somebody comes in and helps facilitate, first of all, and identification of, first of all, values. What does your community value? And you make sure that you have a wide demographic on the committee. Our committee, 5 people ran for a position, right? 4 people or 5 people lived on it. We were not a wide representative of the demographic. We were interested in communications and technology, but not all of us felt comfortable making a decision and saying what should the values be for this community. So we really just need a really wide representation, right? And so then they come up with what the values are. What are the values that you find? So then what is your mission? What do you want your goal to be? Your mission as a community, what is your mission? And then from your mission, then what are your strategies? What are you gonna work on? It's apparent that we value communication, right, and transparency. So that's one of the, one of our values. It could be put in our mission. We could then say that this is our strategy. We're going to have this ongoing, revision and looking at our communication strategies and help reaching our residents. So it's a process, and you come up with a mission with people in your community, and usually it's facilitated by strategic planners who know how to do that.
Excellent. Well, what I'm hearing here is we're going to delay call it the selection of the website company until October. What we're going to use for our budget negotiations in a week is we're going to use the 20,000 and 3,000 for a placeholder for that operation, and then for the startup cost technology for the meetings, the 7730. That's what we're going to use, and I invite you all to look at some of these examples that show like Pewaukee, with Civic Plus. I know about them, so I really. But Dooley, to me, the one that I looked at, it says, wow, I really like that. Now,
before you suggest you look at this, are there extra copies of this or somewhere? Here, I don't have one.
I can email it to you, Jim.
So this is
I'll email it to you.
what this could be, right? So if you just scan this with your QR code, scan this with your phone, your QR code will grab it.
I need to we're on vacation.
You scan this with your phone and you click on the app, the website comes up. I created a waypoint page with a PDF packet and with links to the websites and companies.
It works.
This is a
Right.
waypoint page. It has all the companies in it, so when you scan it, you're.
That's unfair,
or you can
everybody.
take it to your URL.
The month
And
that's
it'll
doing this and
all
look
the
at it,
examples of
review.
companies are there, and
Thank you
and
very
the
much.
whole packet too, so you can, all the links will be added.
Sounds great.
Hey, Joe.
Anybody else need one of these?
No, I'll take one. Hey, Joe.
Did all this stuff.
Well, that's why you have to take.
Sure, Joe.
Thank you.
Because we're just gonna take.
It's nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Replace wages to
Thank you.
adjust their contracts.
This is one-time cost. for the,
Well,
Hey, Joe.
today now our IT guy was just in updating all of our software, all of our, security data on computers. So if everybody's gonna have a laptop or a Chromebook or an iPad, that's that many more licenses for the security for those pieces of equipment too, to think about as a cost, for that infrastructure.
And do we have the capacity on the Wi-Fi to actually make that? Which probably not. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. And
Question.
we'll go forward after that to see what the next steps are. Yes.
When I heard you say about budgeting numbers, it was budgeting for the equipment, budgeting for the website. Was there any recommendation for budget for employee to facilitate?
That's going to be a discussion on, based on what you're showing here, the hours, on what we can do with existing, what we can't, But I heard it loud and clear that there's gonna be probably more than what we have with existing staff. Some of it, definitely, the front end stuff, I know can be done with the staff, but for the whole package, when it's up to full fruition, probably not. Probably not.
You mentioned two numbers there, 7,700 and 20,000.
Yeah.
Well, if you only go with 20,000, you're gonna eliminate a few of those recommendations. So you may wanna raise your capital so you can catch everybody and make a decision based on what you like.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Again, we're in a placeholder, we don't
Gotta
have
have money.
one pick there, but actually, you're only eliminating one.
Well, some of these were guesstimates.
Not even eliminating two.
Yeah, once they get in here and see what we got, it
They
could be
gave us
more or
they gave
less.
us ranges,
Right.
so that's why I did the plus and minus, and maybe you get to the website and you say, okay, well, this little add-on is going to cost us an extra $2,000. Guess what? We're not gonna do this, right? So you'll make those decisions, but again, that website, I think, should be developed with a person who's going to own it, right? Who's going to be responsible for it and take care of it and update it,
This looks great. Actually, your presentation was great, as I was listening to it, but to actually see it, it helps.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Blew me away.
Okay, I think that's where we're at, and again, thank you again to the committee, you guys.
They did a great
this
job.
is, Anything that couldn't be done, and you did it. That's hard. Okay. We need a motion to adjourn. Motion, okay, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we're gonna sign some bills here.
I don't know where it's at, I didn't speak to him.
I was gonna say, I said, I wonder if he even remembers who I am.
How are you?
Good, nice to see you.
I see you, I'm sitting at your pier.
Oh, do ya? All right. No, I just think, I mean, your name came up, I go, oh, I just go back in time and I go back to Marquette, playing basketball with you and gang. That was fun times though.